בשם השם נעשה ונצליח, שיעור תורה, ברוכים הבאים. So, talking to some bachurim, want chizuk, ashrechem v'ashrech lekechem, first of all. The fact that you want chizuk instead of all the other stuff that's out there, that already shows a big about you. It's a big thing because, listen, the reality is you have so many different options today to run after the Yetzer Hara, whether it's on the billboards or on the internet or on everything else. The Satan is trying to find everybody in every single way. So when somebody says, listen, I want to get chizuk, even whether it's for a half hour or for 5 hours, doesn't make a difference. The fact that they want it, it's already a big deal. Why? Because it shows you want something else. So I was asking this question on my Shulchan Shabbat with my kids, and I want to see if you guys think of this answer. It's not so difficult, but it's something that makes you think about all of the mitzvot. You guys are bachurim, you learn every day, whether it's the Gemara or it's Poskim or it's anything else, but sometimes we forget about the Ikal. What's the Ikal? Why are we even here? Tachlis, why are we here? Why? HaKadosh Baruch Hu is perfect. He doesn't need you, he doesn't need me, he doesn't need anything. So why are we here? For what? So last week we just finished, Bereshit, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu tells us that he created the Etz Adat. Etz Adat, but don't eat it. So why'd you create it? If we're not allowed to eat it, and it's delicious, and it's beautiful, and the Chachamim say that it has the taste of every single fruit and every single possible taste you could possibly imagine, and it's the most beautiful thing in the world, but I can't eat it. So why'd you create it? What's the point? I asked my kids, I asked my wife, everybody gave different answers. You guys have any idea?
Just test them to see if...
Test them for what though?
See if you're going to eat it. I told you not to do something, so see if
Okay, so let's say they win the test. They're going to go to Gan Eden? They're already in Gan Eden.
Right.
They're already in Gan Eden. So what, if I don't eat it, I'm in Gan Eden. But I'm already in Gan Eden. So why'd you create it? So that's the thing. If we say that the mitzvah of don't eat pig, or don't look at schmutz, or don't commit adultery, or don't waste seed, or whatever it is that's out there, go to Gan Eden. Over here we understand. But here, Adam HaRishon, he's in Gan Eden. So what does HaKadosh Baruch Hu say? Don't eat him, or else you're going to die. But he didn't die. He didn't kill him right away. He lived 930 years. It says that the Midrash says that the reason why he lived 930 years and not 1,000 years, because one day, Avraham Avinu wanted to live for a long time, but he realized that David HaMelech is going to come. Adam HaRishon wanted to live for a long time, but he realized David HaMelech wanted to come. So what's the connection? So Adam HaRishon knew that the only way that he could do a tikkun for his own neshama is if David HaMelech comes, if the Goel comes. He says, you know what? I'll give him a life. I'll give him 70 years. But then the Chachamim say that he regretted it. He didn't really want to do it. After, when it was last minute, the will to live is a sign of whether somebody is sane or not. That's the highest level of desire that a person has. Will to live. There's all types of desires, but there's a will to live. Doesn't matter how rich, how poor, how something, everybody wants to live. You tell somebody that's, a multi-billionaire, how much would you pay for an extra minute for your life? You'll pay anything for it if it's the last minute. Everybody has a will to live. The moment a person loses their will to live, they're certifiably insane. That's people commit suicide, Shamayim, all types of things. So Adam HaRishon gave it, but he regretted it. So they say that Avraham Avinu gave in the end. Meaning Avraham Avinu was supposed to live 245 years instead of 175. Either way, whether it's this or it's that, the connection, we see that between the two, everybody knew that the tikkun has to come when the Mashiach comes. Fine. But we're still here. We're in this world. So Adam HaRishon did not really die after making the sin right away. He lived 930 years. It's a long time. Al Vayalenu to live 930 years. like he lived. So we can't say that he's going to die. We can't say if you are succeed in this, you're going to go to Gan Eden, because he's already in Gan Eden. But at the same token, we see that what HaKadosh Baruch Hu is teaching us in the Torah, just like the Gemara in Masechet Megillah says, that everything that's in the Torah, in the Tanakh, in the Nevim, the Ketuvim, everything is by 55 prophets. 55. Even though we had over 1.2 million prophets, only 55 prophets are mentioned in the Torah, in the Tanakh. 48 males, 7 females. which means that every single thing that they ever said has to do with this generation, with every generation. All the other 1.2 million, they had their nevuah was relevant to their generation only. So if it's in the Torah, it has to do with us, meaning that Etz Hadat has to do with us. It has to do. It's not a story, chas v'shalom, oh yeah, what happened 4,000 years ago. No. It has to do with us. So we're not in Gan Eden, which means that it cannot be that if he eats, he goes to Gan Eden, because that has nothing to do with us. We also don't have the mitzvah. There's no, you guys see any Etz Hadat? If you see it, let me know, because maybe I need to know a little bit more. It's a lot easier than learning. It's you eat everything, you know everything already? Shtabach shimot, easiest thing in the world. Who's not going to eat it? In fact, the Avot Rabbi Natan says in the beginning, the second parak talks about Adam HaRishon and so on. And he says that when HaKadosh Baruch Hu asked Adam HaRishon, what'd you do? He says, Vayochel, meaning that I ate. Not I ate the fruit, meaning I would eat it again. The test was so big, I would eat it again, even if you gave me the same test right now, even though I know what the consequences, I eat it again. That's how big of a test it was, to know. So,
what does he gain from the second one?
The second, yes, but he just, the Taavah, it's so big apparently, the Etz Hadat, we have no concept of what it is, but the Taavah that he had for this Etz Hadat, he says, if you give me the same test again, I'll fail again. Adam HaRishon knew himself, although we know ourselves also, all the tests, and we never even encountered them, but he knew himself, he says, listen, you give me the test again, I'll fail again. Between the etz, between the knowledge, between how enticing his wife was, all the different things that had, all the mechanics that are beyond the scope of simple conversation, the Taavah was beyond comprehension. So he says, if you give it to me again, I'd fail again. But again, back to our question, Etz Hadat is not relevant to us. We don't have Etz Hadat right now. But the Torah mentions it because it has something to do with us. It has something to do with us. So that means that it's equivalent to any other mitzvah that we have, whether it's pig or it's adultery or it's anything else. If you don't do it, apparently there's a benefit. What's the benefit? Simply put, controlling yourself is the benefit. It's not just sachar and going to Olam Haba and having Gan Eden. The Avot Rabbi Natan also talks about how there's mitzvot kalot, there's simple mitzvot that it's easy to fail. Why? Because let's say, for example, a guy's married, and of course everybody knows that in public you can't do certain things. You can't, Shulchan Aruch paskes, you can't show chiba to your wife, can't hold her hand in public. Even though sometimes there's certain people that are supposed to be rabbis, but they take pictures with hugging their wife or even other women, don't learn from them. Learn from what the Shulchan Aruch says. Today, you have to pick very carefully who to learn from, because sometimes it's confusing. But Shulchan Aruch says you're not allowed to show chiba to even your own wife in public. So the Avot Rabbi Natan says that there's a certain mitzvah that it's mitzvah kala to discard it, because no one aside from HaKadosh Baruch Hu would know you made a mistake. What is it? Your own wife. She's muteret. She stopped bleeding. And technically, okay, she hasn't dipped in the mikveh yet. You're in the house. No one can see you. No one's going to say, oh, this looks like he's maybe doing this. Nobody's going to, you're alone. He says, this mitzvah, if he passes it, shows he has Yirat Shamayim. Why? Because nobody would catch him. It's not like you robbed the bank or you made Chilul Hashem in public. He's in public. He's behind closed doors. Same thing with the shearing the kvasim, the sheep, and giving it to the Kohen. Who's going to know whether it's the first sheep or it's not the first sheep? Meaning, if you do these simple mitzvot, that's what you get Olam Haba, because no one else can prove other than HaKadosh Baruch Hu whether you did it or you didn't do it. So all of the mitzvot have the same thing in common, which is HaKadosh Baruch Hu is trying to help us distinguish ourselves from the rest of the animals. There's some animals that walk on four, there's some animals that swim, there's some animals that walk on two. There's all types of animals in the world. In essence, what HaKadosh Baruch Hu is trying to tell us is that the benefit, the greatest benefit that you have from not eating the Etz Hadat of Adam HaRishon or the Etz Hadat of right now, or the different examples that we gave, is that you're going to teach yourself how to control yourself. Because controlling yourself already gives you an elevation above anything else. Why? The moment I know, okay, so let's say there's something delicious in front of me, and I want it. I'm hungry, it looks tasty, whatever the reason is. and I say, you know what, I'm not going to eat it now, I'm going to eat it after the shiur. That already at that point distinguishes me from a lion. Why? Because a lion, if you put a zebra right next to him, but he just ate. He just ate something. He's not going to do anything to the zebra. The zebra can run, play, he doesn't care. That's sometimes you see videos where there's like a lion and there's a little, some gedi or something, some type of animal walking next to them and it looks like they're friends. No, it's not friends, he's just full. But if the moment he's hungry, even if the zebra is a mile away and he sees her, he's running after her. Why? It's instinct. The moment he's hungry, he's going to eat. Whatever's in front of him, he's going to eat. And sometimes lions even kill each other. So, the lion is based off of instinct. The human is not supposed to be. Needless to say, the Yid. Needless to say, the Jew. So, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, how does a Jew train himself to be a Jew? Control your desires. Learn how to control your desires, whatever it is. That's why the Chachamim say there's all types of taniyot. There's obviously tanit of not eating. There's also tanit dibul. You study if you a good skula, by the way, for anyone that wants miracles in their life. Learn 2 hours a day with tanit dibul for 90 days straight. No breaks. 90 days straight tanit dibul. After 90 days, you'll see Sharei Shamayim open for you. Baduk. Tested, tried, tested, it works. It's amazing. 90 days, Tanit Dibul. No phone, no focus. Of course, you have to go to the bathroom, but it's not easy. Why? Because the Yetzer Hara knows it works, so he bothers you. All of a sudden, everybody wants to talk to you. All of a sudden, everybody asks you the time. All of a sudden, your mom needs you. All of a sudden, everything is an emergency.
For 2 hours a day?
2 hours a day, Tanit Dibul for 90 days straight. 90 days straight. You do it, you'll see Sharei Shamayim open. It's unbelievable. Baduk. Not easy, but possible. I've even had people that have mamash tzarot in their life, problems in their life. After they did this, it works. It's not, again, there's certain klipot, there's certain things in Shamayim that sometimes HaKadosh Baruch Hu just doesn't want to give you specifically what you want, but you will see gates open in Shamayim. 90 days, especially you guys are bachurim, you're learning anyway. All you got to add is the extra sauce of don't talk. Yeah. All you got to add is just like, oh, listen, guys. Imagine I'm not here. But if you want to talk Torah, give a shiur Torah, no problem. If it's Torah, talk as much as you want. But if it's anything other than Torah, nothing. So now Chachamim say there's all types of taniyot. Tanit Dibur, Tanit, the Baal Me'am Loez, Rav Kuli used to do Tanit for a week, from week to week, from Shabbat to Shabbat. That's how he wrote the Me'am Loez. It's unbelievable. And he actually broke one of the Taniyot on Friday because they invited him to a Seudah, and he didn't want to tell them he's doing a Tanit. So he says, if I tell them I'm doing Tanit, it's mamash Friday afternoon. He's almost finished with the Tanit, but they invited him to I think it was Brit Milah or something like that. And he said, Rabbi, you do Kiddush. Now he's going to tell them I'm doing this, then they're going to know I'm doing Tanit for a whole week, and they're going to think I'm a big deal. He says, you know what, it's better off for me to break the Tanit, start all over. Do the whole thing. And so Chachamim did all types of Taniyot. For what? To break the nature of a person. To break that thing that causes you to say, you know what, there's a drink, I want to drink it. There's potato chips, I want to eat it. There's a steak, I want to eat it. There's a girl, I want to look. There's something. Break it. Break that nature. The more a person is able to break the natural instincts they have, the more they can grow in Torah, the more their mind will open up, the more they're also able to break other things that are much more difficult, especially your age. Everything is a Yetzer Hara. There's in every way you look, there's something to be Yetzer Hara. So if a person sees, okay, if you start, Chachamim say you have to walk with just looking 4 amot in front of you. 4 amot in front of you. So that means you have to kind of look down but look up. Now, of course, with your peripheral vision or even from the top of your eyes, you could see if there's some girl coming. If you see that already you have to prepare how to address this. Am I going to go out of my way, cross the street so I don't have to encounter this? Am I simply going to look to the right so I don't even see what she looks like? You already have to prepare. For what? To break the nature. To break the nature of a person. You do this, you're going to be able to do Shmirat Einayim. That's really the secret behind Shmirat Einayim. Everybody will, how to do Shmirat Einayim, Shmirat Einayim. Shmirat Einayim is really all about breaking your own nature. Because the natural instinct of a person wants to look. Especially Hashem created something beautiful. You want to enjoy the beauty. That's it. Tells you. I want to enjoy it. Hashem created. Why? If Hashem created eyes and Hashem created beauty, why can't I use it? But if you use it just like the lion, then easily a person can become like the lion. He can go after everything and anything and all the time. Now, when it comes to this, HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, all of the averot, it's not just about punishment, it's not good for you. Now, how could looking at a girl not be good for you? I'm just looking. I didn't do anything to her. I'm just looking. Okay, so she's not my wife, and she's not going to be my wife, and she's a goya, and what doesn't make a difference? How could it not be good for you? So every person says, I don't know, I see it harmless. I see this harmless. What's really the big deal? Why Chachamim wrote so much about it? They say it's not harmless. But the Yitzhak tells you it's harmless. Why? I didn't do anything. I just looked. Same thing, go on the internet, 2 seconds later, Genom opens up and shows you all of the pictures from there. Okay, so I saw, it's just the eyes. Why? What's the big deal? What happened? What happened? What happens is a process. A process that the Ramban, 700 years ago, writes, opens up the Taavot. What's the Taavot? A Taavah for wanting taboo, wanting something different. So initially, a person starts with himself. Looks wherever he wants, leads him to waste seed, leads him to looking at whatever. Eventually, it's not enough. So what he wants somebody else involved. If he doesn't control himself there, eventually, he wants more than one person. Becomes promiscuous. Goes, whoever pays attention to him becomes a client. Oh, she looked at me, she must like me. Oh, look, she winked, she's alive. She's, anything and everything. Even a 90-year-old can become beautiful in his eyes. But eventually, even that's not enough. The Ramban says he goes from himself to one person, to multiple people, and eventually when that's not enough, he doesn't control himself, then he goes to something taboo. What's taboo? Same gender. He wants to marry he. Well, you guys never heard of the guy that wants to be a girl and the girl that wants to be a guy? Am I the only one that heard about this in the world? Apparently it's everywhere. I'm the only one that knows. Today in this generation, if every he wants to be a she, every she wants to be a he, some of them want to be a it. It, don't call me a he or a she, I'm a it. What do you mean you're it? What's a it? I'm it, I'm X, I'm a this. Ooh, Shem Echem. One person made a video of herself, she's proud of herself that she made a video of herself, and she said that she is a dragon. She's a dragon, and she's asking her fellow dragons, mamash, out like in public, like on the internet. Mama, this is like this. She's proud of what she's publicizing to her fellow dragons. What do you do when your wings get wet in the rain? It's very uncomfortable for me, she says. Like, this is a person that's obviously psychotic, but she got there somehow. How did she get there? She was born of a woman like all of us. Ramban says it starts with him, then it continues, you don't control it, it keeps growing, eventually the taboo continues, eventually it gets to bestiality. That's why there's a place in Nevada where people can marry sheep and all types of other animals. How did they get there? They all started as a baby. But the baby did not want to control himself. So when Adam HaRishon is being told,
Maybe they were something mentally not okay.
Yeah, millions of people mentally not okay. Yeah, you could say that they're definitely mentally, disabled now, but they didn't start off that way. Some of these people are multi-billionaires. Some of these people are major success in business. They have hedge funds, they have banks, they have all types of companies. Like everywhere else, they're normal. Everywhere else, all the celebrities that are being exposed right now, every other day, you hear, what are they exposed for? They're exposed for all the craziest things in the world. Like, this guy did this? How? They just reported some, major financier, like a guy that was a multi-billionaire, had a side business of importing all types of craziness from all over the world to a place. Like, it's just like, what are you, bored? What's wrong with you? But that's the thing, it's nothing that's wrong. It's a person that does not know how to control themselves. So in Parashat Bereshit, what HaKadosh Baruch Hu is trying to tell us is Adam HaRishon had to control himself out of one thing. Out of one thing. And he wasn't able to. He failed. We also have to control ourselves from one thing. You guys tell me, no, what one thing? Rabbi, 2 minutes after you leave, there's 50 million things. Just to pick up the phone, there's 500 million things. Just to open the door, there's another 500 million things. Go on the way to the supermarket, another 5. No. It starts with one thing. Once you make the choice, I'm going to control myself off of this Taavah that I have right now in front of me. Already you are on the way to realizing, wait, I can do this. I can do this. So the Chachamim said, there's all types of ta'aniyot. There's even ta'anit where you could, you eat a meal, your mom makes delicious food, you have a nice plate. What's the best bite? The last one. The last bite is always the best. The last bite of a sandwich is always the best. Why? Because it has all the juices from everything else that came down. It's always the best. So that last bite, that last piece on your plate, don't eat it. That's considered a ta'anit. Why is it a ta'anit? Because if you want it more than anything else. Even if you're not hungry, you want to eat it. So that already shows you control yourself. It already shows you control yourself, and this is the secret to Shmirat Einayim. This is the secret to overcoming obstacles. This is the secret to growing in Torah. It's all about starting to simply deciding, I'm going to control myself. Because now, if you, let's say, for example, you sit down to your first seder, you're awake. First seder, you want to go all out. By the second seder, you're a little tired. If they give you a third one, it's like, oh, Rabbi, can we take a break today? Maybe it's vacation, maybe it's Ben Hazmanim. What Ben Hazmanim? You just came back from Ben Hazmanim. I don't know, maybe you could have like a second Ben Hazmanim or something. I'm tired. A person says, you know what? I need this. Why? Because if I'm not doing this, what are my other options? What are my other options? If I'm not learning, what else am I going to do? Be exposed to all the Taavot. So at this time of your life, you got to take advantage as much as you possibly can to not only learn, but to also use the learning that you have to see how you can control yourself in different things, different obstacles you have. Everybody has their own different obstacles. Some people it's their eyes, some people it's their mouth where they can't stop eating, some people it's their hands, some people are like to steal stuff, all types. Everybody has different ta'avot. A person has to see, okay, you know what, where can I control myself next? Overcome that, you'll see that the next one becomes easier. Even if it's a completely different ta'avah, the next one becomes a little easier. And the next one becomes a little easier. You fail, you try again. Fail, you try again. You keep trying. Little by little, you control yourself more and more, and you'll be able to grow. And you can become much, much bigger than you could imagine. This is also one of the biggest things when it comes to learning Torah. Every time you open a Gemara, the inside cover, it says that HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives chokhmah. Meaning it doesn't matter how much you learn. You can learn 2 hours a day, you can learn 20 hours a day. At the end of the day, HaKadosh Baruch Hu decides how much to give you. I'm sure you guys have some bachurim in your yeshiva. Geniuses. It looks like something like the guy just was born from a different planet. It's like, how is this guy relevant to our generation? This guy, it doesn't even seem like he reads, but he knows everything already. And then there's some guys that they try, miskeni, they can't get by. It's like the rabbi asked him, okay, what parasha are we? Oh, we're Noach. What Noach? What Zot HaBracha? We didn't finish. He doesn't know nothing, misken, can't figure things out. What happened? HaKadosh Baruch Hu decided to give each person chokhmah. This person earned chokhmah like he's the Gaon Mivilna of the generation. The other person didn't. Why? He's good and he's bad? No. Simple. Mesirut Nefesh. How much effort did you exert in order to earn my Torah? How much effort did you exert to overcome the obstacles? How much effort did you exert to connect to HaKadosh Baruch Hu? The more effort, the more I'm going to give you. Regardless of how much you learn. People always ask me, how do you know all these things? I mean, just, 15 years ago I was still, practically a goy. How is it possible that you know this? I have rabbis as students. I have almost 400 students that finished the Shas in 1 year. I have, Baruch Hashem, a lot of good things that HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave us. How could it be? Simple. Everything I learn is for the sake of the Rabbim. It's for people like you. It's for people all over the world to learn Torah. It's not for me. It's for the sake of Am Yisrael. Because everything I learn, I try to teach. Even if it's a small shiur like this, okay, we're going to put it online. Somebody somewhere in the world is going to benefit out of this shiur. Just the other day, I have somebody contacted me, sent me a shiur that he did. Then I looked at his phone number. He's in Namibia. It's Africa. It's the end of the world. I said, what are you doing in Namibia? He lives there, and he's giving shiurim. This guy got chizuk for my shiurim. He's now giving shiurim. Shtabach Shimolad. I don't know, apparently there's a few Jews also aside from him over there in the middle of the end of the world. And everybody's getting chizuk now. So the key is when you're learning just for yourself, it's good. But when you're learning for others, it gives you extra siyata d'ishmaya. Why? Because now HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to give you, not just for your sake, He's going to give you for the sake of other people. This is why I always recommend Avrechim, bachurim should know Torah, teach somebody. Even if it's your brother, even if it's your sister, even if it's a few of your friends, give a shiur for 10 minutes on Shulchan Shabbat. Give a shiur after the issue. Okay, everybody's going home. Let's do a shiur for 10 minutes. About what? I don't know. Let's say something. Dvar Torah. Why? Because now all of a sudden, your Torah is not just yours. You become a Mezakeh Rabim. And it gives extra siyata d'ishmaya. So when it comes to learning Torah, everybody wakes up and they try and they try and they try. But what's going to distinguish me? Number one, it's overcoming the obstacles that distinguish me from being an animal. Overcoming the ta'avot. By saying, okay, you know what, this one, I'm going to have it, but in 5 minutes from now. I'm going to eat, but in 5 minutes from now. I'm going to drink, but in 5 minutes from now. I'm going to go, but in 20 minutes from now. Or I'm going to go tomorrow. Every different things, try to control. Don't be instinctive. The second thing is to try to publicize Torah as much as you can. Try to publicize Torah as much as you can. There's no such thing as, but I don't know anything. I don't know anything either. When my rabbi told me initially, you have to start teaching, I told him, I don't know anything. He goes, okay, so teach the little bit of anything that you know. You learned this week about Parashat Shavua, teach Torah. Teach Parashat Shavua. And every week you teach something. And Baruch Hashem, over the last 10 years of teaching, it's become an extraordinary thing where you made Torah films, made thousands of lectures, and lots of people got chizuk, bachurei yeshiva, avrechim, rabbis, regular people, chassidim, ashkenazim, sfaradim, people from all walks of life are getting chizuk. Why? Because they're looking for it. They're not getting it wherever they are. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu said, you want to be a shaliach? Okay, so I'll make you the shaliach. Last thing I'll tell you, and you guys can ask as many questions as you want, is another thing, if you remember, the first Mishnah in Masechet Avot. First Mishnah was Masechet Avot. Moshe קיבל תורה מסיני, ומסרה ליהושע, יהושע לזקנים, זקנים לנביאים, נביאים לאנשי כנסת הגדולה, והם אמרו, Moshe Rabbeinu got Torah at Mount Sinai. He gave it to Yeshua ben Nun. Yeshua ben Nun gave it to the Skenim. That's the elders. Doesn't really mean that they were old. It just means that they were the leaders, the Torah leaders. Then the Skenim gave it to the Nevi'im, the prophets. And they gave it to Anshei Knesset HaGedolah, which among Anshei Knesset HaGedolah was several prophets. There were several prophets. So we knew that everything that they wrote, everything they said, it's Dvar HaShem. That's Siddur, for example. Siddur was from Anshei Knesset HaGedolah because they knew that those words at that specific time open up certain gates in Shamayim. That's why the Siddur is the way it is. That Tehillim, at that particular time, it has to do, it's a certain code for a sha'ar in Shamayim. So, these Anshei Knesset HaGedolah told us three things. So, first it told us, be patient when it comes to making decisions. Don't jump to conclusions. If you're going to make a din, make a judgment, don't jump to conclusions. Why? You jump to conclusions, you're going to make a mistake. Second, have a lot of Talmidim. What does it mean a lot of Talmidim? What is it? My choice to have a lot of Talmidim? Yes. How? Every single time you have an opportunity to teach somebody, whether it's your little brother or your big brother or your father or your cousin or your fellow students, whoever it is, you could always share divrei Torah. It doesn't have to be a shiur. It could be just share divrei Torah instead of shtuyot, instead of, do you see what the sports team did, the NBA, the NFL, this overgrown male that gets $50 million a year for smashing his head against other people. You see what he made? Instead of that, say, which parasha is it? You have a chidush on the parasha? You have a chidush on what we learned today? Did you understand anything? Share divrei Torah. And the last thing it says, asus se'eg Torah. What's asus se'eg Torah? What is it? Make borders for the Torah. What is borders for the Torah? Limitations. Limitations. A person that teaches himself how to limit himself, how to control himself, can become a very big person, can become a very successful person in every aspect, not just in Torah, but also in business, in family, in everything else. Why? Because once you start taking control of your behavior, then you can make a decision more rationally. In the investment world, which I spent almost 16 years doing when I was on Wall Street, the key to success is not the best timing. The key to success is not being the smartest. The key to success is not the best technology. The key to success when it comes to business and investing in general is human behavior. How do you behave when everything doesn't work out? When people are jumping out of the window because they just lost all of their money and the market's crashing. How do you behave when everybody's buying and they're telling you you're missing out if you don't buy? How do you behave? Human behavior. The best investors in the world, the best businessmen in the world are people that were able to control themselves when everybody else lost control. Needless to say, it's the same concept when it comes to Avodat Hashem. When it comes to Avodat Hashem, what's the difference between the one person becoming just another bachur that learned in yeshiva but then does whatever he does with his life, and somebody that becomes a Gaon Mivilna, somebody that becomes somebody that's special? It's not his brain is better than his. Simple. This guy decided to control certain things that the other guy wasn't willing to control. This guy said, you know what, I have to make money. I have to do this. I have to do this. He made things that he wanted into I have to, I must, I need. You know, little kids, anytime they want something, it's like, I need it. What do you mean, you need the candy? Yeah, I need it. You need the candy? It sounds like, it doesn't sound right. What do you mean, how do you need? I need this toy. I need, everything becomes a little kid, everything they need. But in reality, they don't need. When an adult says, I need more money, I need this, and that shows that they stayed a child to a certain extent. So how do we overcome that? Simple. Be patient before you make a decision, before you decide, and then say, do I really need it or do I just want it? And even if I just want it, is it worth it? Does Hashem allow it? Doesn't allow it? That's really what Yirat Shamayim is. Yirat Shamayim is simply when the Gemara says Yirat Hashem I Otzaro, that the treasure of Hashem is Yirat Shamayim. It's in essence, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is telling you this is the treasure. Why is it a treasure? Because before you made every decision, you asked, is this against Hashem or is it not against Hashem? Is this allowed? Is this not allowed? If you ask that question before you make a decision, you'll have Yirat Shamayim. If you act off of instinct, then an instinct. Instinct is instinct. Instinct is no different than the lion. So that's really the big thing I think today that's going to help. But of course, if you guys have any questions, bechavod, you guys could ask anything you want. Nothing's off limits. I'm sure you guys learn a lot. So a lot of this stuff was just simply a reminder. But if you have any specific topics, questions, anything, bechavod. Okay, so those tablets, I know you guys learn every day, Baruch Hashem, so that's good. But sometimes you're not learning. And sometimes the Yetzirah will send you an NBA game, or an NFL game, or some other thing out there to take your attention away from the Gemara. I highly recommend not wasting your time on sports and all that stuff because it occupies your mind. But either way, one way that we thought is good, because books, Baruch Hashem, we've written a couple of books, we published many that my Rav has written also, but books sometimes are not as enticing for this generation as they should be. Why? Because we're not competing against regular books. We're competing against YouTube. We're competing against Apple. We're competing against that. So we came up with this tablet. This tablet is the best stuff we have from the last 10 years, movies that we've made. Between each movie, there is a little song, 2-3 minute song. After that, there's a movie. There's a movie about my life story. There's a movie of Tikkun Abrit. There's a movie about Gehenom. There's a movie about Torah and science. There's a movie about different stories of Rav Elchanan Wasserman. A lot of interesting movies in there. The key part of it is that, number one, it'll occupy your time with something that you can learn from. Number two, it's a lot of things that will help you with Yirat Shamayim, because this is the main thing you have to work on in your life, not just today, not just tomorrow, for your whole life, because if a person can develop Yirat Shamayim, they could overcome every obstacle under the sun. They'll have a good marriage, they'll be a good parent, they'll be a good Eved Hashem, they'll be good at prayer, they'll be good at everything, if they have Yirat Shamayim. If they don't have Yirat Shamayim, then they won't reach very far, because the Gemara itself says a Talmid Chacham that has bad midot, nevela sruchat tova menu, a dead animal in the street is better than him. Why? But he's Talmid Chacham, he learned a lot of Torah, yeah, but he's not applying it to his life. Doega Adomi, Gemara Masechet Sanhedrin, Perek Chelek says, has no share of the world to come. He was the head of the Sanhedrin. Yerovam ben Nevat says that on every single thing in the Torah, he can give you over 127 chidushim. Gaon Adir, no chelek l'olam haba. Yerovam ben Nevat, Doega Adomi, Achitofel, these were geniuses. Knew the whole Torah. Nobody in the world knows as much Torah as they do. Even if you combine everybody together. But they have no share of the world to come. Why? They were missing one ingredient. No Yirat Shamayim. No Yirat Shamayim. A person that has Yirat Shamayim can grow in every part of his life. So much so that the Chamim says that if a person has Yirat Shamayim, don't stay in a room alone with him. Why? He may kill you. That's what Avraham Avinu said to Avimelech. When he told him, how come you didn't tell me about Sarah being your wife? He says, because I saw there's no Yirat Shamayim here, so you'll kill me over my wife. Meaning that a person that has no Yirat Shamayim is always suspect, possibly murderer. So this is something that will help you with Yirat Shamayim when you're not able to learn. Of course, if you have the Gemara in front of you, if you have the rabbi in front of you, if you have giving you all types of chidushim, of course, that's what you learn. But anytime you're not, you turn it on, you don't even have to press anything. It simply turns on for you. You saw the movie already, go to the next one. You saw the movie, go to the next one. Little by little gives you chizuk. And a lot of the things you can watch multiple times because the Tikkun HaBrit, for example, the film Tikkun HaBrit has 116 different Torah sources from all spectrums of the Torah. From the Zohar, from the Shulchan Aruch, from all parts of the Torah. The Gehenom film, for example, has 176 sources. So if you want to be a chacham, you don't just watch it, you look up the sources. What else does it say? What else does it say? What? Because this type of stuff, even though it's not necessarily the most exciting for some people to learn, this is the type of stuff that's going to keep you away from the Yetzer Hara when you're alone. When you're alone. And that's what even the Lubavitcher Rebbe said, that Ahavat Hashem, loving Hashem, is not going to help you if you're walking on Broadway in New York. Loving Hashem as much as you want is not going to help you when you're walking around in Broadway. Why? Because loving Hashem is not going to make you stop looking at this one and that one. But fear of Hashem, that's going to help you. So that's in essence the goal of this thing, is to educate, inspire, and to help people get Yirat Shamayim. And Bezrat Hashem, you guys be matzliach with all the good things that you do. Continue learning, become great chachamim, teach Am Yisrael, be mezakeh Arabim Bezrat Hashem one day. And Bezrat Hashem, we hear only good news. Let's go to Mitzvah. Anything? Let's go to Mitzvah. Rabotai Karim, I'd like to introduce you to the new Kiruv box. But unlike the other, this one does not require much packaging. In fact, it doesn't require anything by you. All you got to do is open it. And it has a bunch of our best, absolute best films, music, shiurim, lots of stuff that is pleasing to the eye. You can hear it. And in so many words, Rabotai, the dead would be awoken just to watch it. If you really want to do Kiruv, you're going to get this for as many people as possible. You don't need to convince anymore. You don't have to do anything anymore. We literally did everything for you. All you got to do is get one of this and simply tell to a person, listen, I love you, here's a gift. What is it? It doesn't require an explanation. In fact, it doesn't require internet. It doesn't require technical knowledge. All it requires is some ability to simply open it. That's it. After that, it turns out by itself. You want to invest into getting Baalei Tshuva? There is simply no tool on planet Earth that will be more convincing than this. Because this, Rabotai, is 10 years of work in a way that's so beautiful that doesn't matter whether the person is secular, religious, young, old, everyone would be interested in this. Don't be surprised if other people are going to try to copy it, but what they can't copy is the last 10 years of work. That they won't be able to copy. Anyone that wants to be a partner, anyone that wants to support this project or to help us feeding the poor in Israel that have lost their home during the recent attacks, you could donate on the website, you could donate on our campaign page, you could donate on the Facebook campaign. There's lots of ways to support. If you really want to be serious about your blessed life that you want in this world and the next, this shiur gave you the path, gave you the clarity, gave you the alternative, or at least knowledge about it. And now, we finished off even with a new tool. It's light, it's really, really cool. Mamash siyata dishmaya. This is miracle in the making, Rabotai. Miracle. This is coming. This is going to change the entire life of somebody forever.